We'll now move on to our second prose text and examine some imagery within that. So this next text is called The Power of One, and it was written by Bryce Courtenay in 1989. The novel is set in South Africa during World War II and the Apartheid era, so there's a lot of political issues coming up in this novel. We won't be looking at those right now, we're merely focusing on the imagery, but if you are looking for a related text, this is definitely an extremely recommended one. The book tells the story of an Anglo-African boy who was raised by his Zulu nanny after his mother has a nervous breakdown. And the book surrounds his dream to be a professional boxer and his desperation to achieve his goals. So this first extract from this book. My life proper started at the age of 5, when my mother had her nervous breakdown. I was torn from my black nanny with her big white smile and taken from my grandmother's farm and sent to boarding school. So here the language of recount is highlighted. We very much get a sense that this is a boy reflecting on his life and he's telling his story at this point from quite a rational perspective. The negative words that are also highlighted, however, are really showing you the narrator's reaction to the events. So the use of these very strong, pervasive verbs, the nervous breakdown, torn, taken, sent, they're all very active, and they're showing that maybe against his will, this boy's life has really been ripped apart. We also get highlighted the very soft imagery. My black nanny with her white smile. Imagery associated with the nanny is a lot more positive. So we get the sense that, this is what he longs for. He longs for this beautiful image of his past, rather than the harsh reality of his present. The first 5 years of his life were very easy and pleasant with, the juxtaposition of the black nanny and her big, white, happy smile with this awful, unpleasant, nervous breakdown that's happening in his life at the moment. So as a result of this, the boy is sent to boarding school, and this extract speaks quite powerfully of his unpleasant situation there. Then began a time of yellow wedges of pumpkin, burned black and bitter at the edges, mashed potato with glassy lumps, meat apron with gristle and grey gravy, diced carrots, warm, wet, flatulent cabbage, beds that wet themselves in the morning, and an entirely new sensation called loneliness. Now here the imagery highlighted is of horrible food. All of this list is really disgusting descriptions of the food that they ate in boarding school. And this really appeals to the reader's sense of taste and makes it realistic and relatable. So as we've discussed in previous videos, a really good way of making imagery work is through making it relatable to all of the senses, not just to the sense of sight. Alliteration of burned black and bitter really shows that very harsh sound and is reflective of his general situation. The personification of the beds that wet themselves also gives the sense that everyone is out to get him. Obviously the beds didn't wet themselves, he wet the bed, but that powerful personification there really gives the indication of his unhappiness and his hostile environment. We finally get the return to the negative imagery of an entirely new sensation called loneliness. And the end on that very profound statement really builds up the image of his unhappiness in his situation.